I can sign it. Yeah, I had 50 names. I just ran it. And they have one saying for this. Be a quick one. Yeah, actually it was 45 out of the 50, it was 45 members that signed, 5 yes.
I thought I recognized you. How are you?
I'm super duper, yeah, we sound alike. Us New Jerseyites, what can I say? You know, when I go back to visit anybody in my family, I really get into the New Jersey.
Oh, yes. All I gotta do is talk to somebody.
Or talk to somebody and drink your coffee.
Yes, ma'am.
I love it.
My kids make
Since we
fun
got
of
them
me.
in the yard that they
Sure.
have now.
Where are they?
They have just.
Were they born in Texas?
They don't bite,
Oh,
not
okay.
vicious, but
They were all born in me, except for the baby.
They
okay.
do, they sound terrible.
Yeah. My daughter was born in Lubbock.
I wish it would work the other day, last month, somebody sold $500 for a
It's funny, when we first moved down here, of course, we all had the Jersey accent.
Of
You
course.
know, we did that addition, and it came
The guy
out.
from South Carolina,
We did a 500 square foot inn with a
my
fireplace
husband
and,
worked with a bunch of
French doors coming out from the house, and tiled it, and rocked
So
the
he picked up
fireplace.
some.
Nah, he not really, he picked up a few words, but not really the accent. My daughter picked up the Texas accent.
Really was
Uh-huh.
reasonable. It was
Whatever
about
that is, there's so many
$23,000.
farmers
Well,
here.
there is,
Oh my
there's a
God.
different, like, flux of accents,
so intended to stay
especially up
the whole
north.
thing.
If you go to North
And the
Texas,
roof was
they've
like
got
made
like
right
these,
to the house.
they've got a,
Unbelievable. Eastern, very
I'd recommend it.
East, East
so
Texas.
we would sit at the table at dinner time, and each one of us had a different accent.
Isn't that fun?
The thing I
That's
liked about it
fun.
is he was on.
Diversity.
But we don't all have that in there.
He said he was gonna be
Diversity.
there, he was there. He was gonna be late, call me up and say, we're picking up materials and beer with me. And he was just great.
I missed that. You moved around. Oh, well, fine. Moving around, how are you? Well, I might as well move up too. Boy, this place is pretty empty. Wow, this is wow, there's 10 pages in all this. It's pretty small. Thought you were moving. No, I was just moving over. Oh dear. Back seat. Madam, would you mind removing your head?
You're mean. I have a sense of humor, I don't mind that.
Serious.
The guy that was sitting over here. He knows
Okay.
the files and everything. We're not out of the restaurant business until I was again. Did you hear from me? We are not out of the restaurant business. We're still supporting She's Lost We're still supporting. And the programs, when they took over, we were out of that business. I put my house on the market. Except for that one marriage. All the rest of them have no spot.
It's 9 o'clock. Is this on? Didn't get any better extensions.
Can you hear me? Or yesterday, it doesn't matter. All right, it's 9 o'clock. I'm calling the meeting to order. We do not have our Monique here this morning, so you'll hear some stumbling around. I'm establishing that we do have a quorum with 4 of us out of the 5 of the members of the board. Let's stand for a moment of silence.
Thank you. Lots to think about this week.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
In the absence of Monique, we do not have copies of the minutes from the last meeting, so it'll be difficult to approve them. And that will have to be tabled and put forth to the next meeting, I imagine.
Yes, thank you. Do you have a treasurer's report?
We do?
Bank balances as of Wednesday, August 16, 2017. Texas Community Credit Card, $47,671.26. Texas Community Checking, $47,818.05. Texas Community Money Market, $2,564. Bracketville Bank and Trust, General Fund, $63,494.47. Payroll, $3,145.84. Restricted Fund, $433,155.86. And Los Morris, $28,633.89 for a subtotal $626,483.37. Fort Clark Historical Building Preservation Fund, $18,645.53. Fort Clark Hail Damage Repair Fund, $67,484.71, for a total of $712,613.61. Dan Sullivan requested that Monique also do a reconciled bank statement as of July 31st. Texas Community Credit Card, $24,178.65. Texas Community Checking, $71,453.82. Texas Community Money Market, $2,564. Brackettville Bank and Trust, General Fund, $63,498.48. Payroll, $627.89, obviously payroll paid out. Restricted Fund, $430,827.26, and Los Morris, $25,216.20, subtotaled $618,366.30. Fort Clark Historical Building Preservation Fund, $18,645.53. Fort Clark Hail Damage Repair Fund, $67,484.71, for a total of $704,496.54. And I want to make a note to you that the bank balances change daily as money goes in and out of the accounts, as deposits are made or checks are paid. Okay, bank transfers for July 2017 estimated. Bank and Trust Los Morris, 0 operating expense. Texas Community Checking, $85,000 operating expense. Bank and Trust Payroll, $68,000. Bank and Trust Restricted operating expense, 0, for a total of $153,000 estimated. July 2017 actual, Bank and Trust Los Morris, 0 for operating expense. Texas Community Checking, $91,521.34 operating expense. Bank and Trust Payroll, $61,500. Bank and Trust Restricted, 0 operating expense, for a total actual of $138,985.11. August 2016 actual, Bank and Trust Los Morris, 0 operating expense. Texas Community Checking, $45,537 operating expense. Bank and Trust Payroll, $99,000. Bank and Trust Restricted operating expense, 0, for $144,537. August 2017 estimated, Bank and Trust Los Morris, 0 operating expense. Texas Community Checking, $90,000 operating expense. Bank and Trust Payroll, $97,000. Bank and Trust Restricted operating expense, 0, for a total of $187,000. I move that the bank transfers be approved.
I would second it. I have a couple of things. One, on the July actual, I think there was an error in the addition.
Okay, let me look and see.
Total should be $153,021.
I didn't have a chance to look these over yesterday. I was down with a migraine.
I know, we got everything late because of the power outage.
Yes,
But
that's
I would
true.
note that. And then just a matter that it seems the operating expense went up about $6,000 from July estimated to July actual, and the August estimated from the August a year ago is almost double, $45,000. Was there
There an
anything
ex-
unusual there? That was
extra week and extra payroll?
extra payroll?
I think so.
5 week.
Okay,
Long
just
month.
wondered.
I couldn't make that 34 cents come down. I'm glad
And
you
it is
noticed.
correct, $153,021.34.
And is the estimation for August for the same reason?
Yes,
Okay.
it's a long month.
Anything else? Are we ready to vote? Okay. All in favor? Bank transfers? Opposed? Remember that we are keeping track of our own motions, and I think, Sandy, you've probably got most of them, so we'll try to back you up. Executive Officers Report.
Yes, ma'am. As you notice, Monique is not here. She is with Carol Ann Goodwin. They are attending the Texas Trophy Hunters Exposition in San Antonio this weekend. Their goal is to try to book out the hunting schedule as best they can, and there's a good potential for that.
You talked into the.
Am I not? Sorry. I was just saying that Monique and Carol Ann are at the Texas Trophy Hunters Exposition in San Antonio. Their goal is to book out the hunting schedule there, and there is that potential. So we wish them well. We hope that they can accomplish that. Our hunting poster on Facebook got over 4,000 views and many positive responses to it. So it's shaping up for a good year. We recently had another deer harvest. We harvested 9 deer. And by that I mean we corralled them and they are transported to other places. That brought us an additional $1,980 when that occurred. That was last weekend. We received a thank you note from the UM Army. They were here a couple of weeks back, serving the community, and while they were here, they also constructed 15 new benches for the amphitheater, for the Old Quarry Amphitheater, and they constructed 3 new picnic tables for the teen center, just as a thank you for allowing them to come onto the fort and base out of here as they serve the community. It's always good to have them here. I want to mention that the Kinney County 4-H Club recognized Fort Clark Springs at their annual banquet recently because of the support that Fort Clark has given to 4-H over the past year. So that was nice to receive that recognition. The August 5th Family Fun Day was another success. We had some 249 people attending. It was a small fun day, but it was, I think, well attended, and everybody seemed to enjoy it. Mostly these were members and guests who attended. We put a contest, it's allergy time. We put a contest on Facebook that was a family fun pack, which allowed 2 folks to come in for the price of 1. So we had a young family come from San Antonio. He's a Union Pacific employee in San Antonio. And so when the family came, they enjoyed so much, they began talking to us about the possibility of moving here and his transfer. So that's a plus. That's icing on the cake for us. The next Family Fun Day is going to be on Labor Day weekend, September the 2nd, ending with the poolside movie. Well, we attempted to do a poolside movie on the last Family Fun Day, and the rain and the storms prevented us from doing that. This next one is going to be sponsored by the Community Council, Beauty and the Beast, and we're crossing our fingers that there be no rain so that we can have that experience. We are looking for vendors, so anyone interested in being a vendor for the Family Fun Day, contact Carol Ann Goodwin. AT&T out of Uvalde was a vendor at the last Family Fun Day and will be again this Labor Day. They liked what is happening so much that they want to also sponsor a movie, so that's a good. The disc golf course is up and running. Plans are being made for the first annual disc golf tournament, which is to be held on September the 2nd, the same day as the Family Fun Day. already some $450 in sponsorships for that tournament has been raised, and thanks to Mary Frances Partlow, I don't see her here, but she was instrumental in raising those sponsorships. I've noticed a number of people of all ages out on the golf course playing disc golf. I was surprised to see. So it's a nice amenity for the membership. It's just another fun thing to do on Fort Clark. Recently, a disc golf pro came and played the course as a guest of Mr. Joe Hendricks, and he made some suggestions for us to improve the disc course, and actually, by and by, gave us the thumbs up, thought it was a very good course, and was complimentary to Joe because Joe put a lot into it, and so he deserves a good pat on the back for that. We appreciate his involvement. That's about all I have at the moment.
Any questions? Okay. Do we have someone from the airport for a report? Architectural?
Good morning. We have approved 10 permits this past month. We've denied 1, and we've resolved 22 out of 46 of the CCNR violations. So, we're making progress. That's it.
Can you give us some idea of why the one permit was denied?
He was behind on his dues.
Okay,
That's why.
thank you. Anything else on architectural?
That's it.
Questions? Okay,
May I piggyback on that for just a moment? There were some 22 resolved.
Yes.
There were some 10 that were fined, were a special enforcement assessment assigned to 10. And they have, I think by now, received their letters accordingly. There's still a number that are not resolved but are in the process of being resolved. So the architectural committee is having an impact.
good.
Finance advisory, I don't think we're planning on,
No, not till we get back in October.
okay. Golf?
Debbie Isaacs. In the month of July, we had a total of 490 members play, a total of 181 guest people played, 55 tournament for a total of 726 total people on the course. That is 14 more over 2016. But on a good note, the month of July, financial-wise, across the counter of people that actually played, that was our second highest income month since October. And when you're looking at it, and I've been keeping the figures, Mr. Lawrence wants the figures from October through September. So this will be our first full year that we can actually track these figures. But to think that July was the second highest income month is kind of phenomenal, as hot as it is, and people out there, and it was. But we did instigate a couple of different discounts. The play, especially on Saturdays, has increased. Those are basically not members playing, so they're paying the full amount to play, and that's pretty much where the figures are coming in at. Not only was it the second highest income month, but the golf carts were more rented out that month than any other month. So that's also a good thing. 2017 versus 2016. As far as members played, we had 74 more members play in July. We had 42 more outside players play. We were 102 less tournament players. But when you look at the figures, the overall golfers were definitely up from 2016. Tournaments coming up, we've got in August, 26th, end of the month. September the 2nd, we have an outside tournament out playing. September the 4th, we have our Labor Day tournament. September the 9th, the Del Rio Border Patrol, and I am understanding this is their first time to have a tournament over here. September the 16th, I was told that that one with the Seminole was canceled. September the 30th, we have the end of the month. October the 7th, we have the Happy Cervantes. October the 28th, we have the Halloween, the annual Halloween, and November the 4th, we have the Church Alliance. So we're very busy in September.
Sounds like. Thank you.
Well, that's just across the board. That's not with the prepaid or anything. And you, Mr. Lawrence would have to answer.
Was there a question that we needed to, we should
wanted
have?
to
I wondered what the money figure was. They said they'd made more that month than for a long time.
It's a secret.
I mean, I can give it.
Oh, no, I was just curious.
We can get it to you if you really need to know. Preservation?
I would ask that Debbie get the preservation report for this month because I wasn't there and I have a heart taken care of.
You okay?
Oh, yeah. So Debbie, weren't you there?
I was there.
Well.
I wasn't prepared to give a report.
Well, no.
Yeah, we did meet. We had a quorum present. We talked about the drainage problem on the commissary. We still haven't determined anything there. Pretty basically all we really talked about. Go ahead, Dan.
Okay, thanks, Debbie. I was at the meeting too, of course, and there were a number of issues they brought for me to bring to the board that are rather important. One is just for a heads up, they're going to go through and make some suggestions for changes on the resolution that established them that we did. And when we did that resolution, there was a error in the transcribing and a change of the name rather than the Historic Building Restoration and Repair Committee. It became the Historic Building Repair Committee. They want to change that part, and I guess they may have some other things. They're going to do that at their next meeting, and they're urging everyone to be there. Also, they were still interested in the roofs on the art gallery and the fire station, and I know Sandy just did a follow-up the other day, or asked for a follow-up on where they're at, and I explained to them that the weather had put the company behind, and they will be getting to it as soon as they can. There were questions about the light bulbs at the Pulse Theater, and I believe there has been someone volunteer to put those bulbs in, and I think you probably find out who that person is. I don't have it written down here, but through Garland or Debbie or Bill, I'll speak off the committee. Also, there's a problem at the Pulse Theater with some boards, I understand, that are deteriorating and coming loose up under the front facade there somehow that need to be looked at and addressed. The other thing, they were concerned about the stone drainage ditch wall down in front of the empty saddle between the maintenance building, and there's a gentleman by the name of Frank Rodriguez may be able to repair that and give us an estimate, and you can get a hold of him through Bill on the committee. He knows how to reach him. The other thing of some concern are the finances, and so I'm going to call Randy Monday, unless I'm instructed otherwise, and set up a meeting with him and Debbie, the treasurer for the committee, and myself to try to resolve those issues and find out just where they're at. And the last thing that I can recall is, and I'm doing most of this from memory, and it fills me up on everything else, but there's a water problem, as you know, in the commissary building, and they've had an expert company look at it. There was a French drain sort of put in it some time ago by our maintenance people, and it didn't work, and they had pictures, and the building floods quite substantially. But this company that looked at it is proposing to do a French drain down, as I understand it, in the front of the building between there and the wall down to the east end of the building and then turn and have it go down naturally down that hill and slope down there. And they have to get back with some real costs because they have to make that ditch, wide enough and deep enough to accommodate it. And that's pretty tough, leachy and soil, and so they're going to have to use some equipment, and it will probably be a bit costly. And that's all I have on the preservation committee.
Since there are several things that they want the board to look at, can we get a copy of this from someone or whoever takes minutes?
Sure. Bill's already sent out minutes of the meeting, and I didn't print them out here, he emailed them out, but I can print those out. But it's basically what he wants the board to stay on top of, which Sandy's doing a good job of, the roofs. Not literally on top of the roofs, but on top of getting them repaired at the art gallery.
We're going to put it up there if they don't get done.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things there, but I can at least supply Richard a note or something of what we need to look at.
Yes, because if there's something that requires funding, it'll have to be on the agenda. So, and that's what I'm hearing.
I don't know. They have some of their own funds right now. We don't know how much. We have an idea, but
On that note, I did talk to Randy about that yesterday. He's hammering it out. I think he's got it now. And he said to me that he would like to have a meeting with the officers of the committee.
Wonderful. I'll get in touch with them and we'll set that up.
One other thing, when we have our next meeting, we're gonna try to have all of our members there. And if any of the boards would like to be there, because this is the restructure of that committee. And like Dan said.
When is it?
It's the second
Second
Wednesday
Wednesday
at
of
1
the month.
o'clock. So
I can't do that in my head.
I don't know what the second date-wise is. I don't.
Oh, and as far as the light bulbs on the theater, we have the bulbs, we're waiting on volunteers.
I told them that. They're aware
The
of
second Wednesday will be the 13th.
My husband is the one who's putting in the light bulbs, if you need the name, Kenneth Knox.
Oh,
Who's gonna
thank
do the
you.
light bulbs at the theater. It's my
Thank you.
husband.
His name again? Kevin
I
Knox.
know, Kenneth Knox.
Thank you.
Could that be accomplished if he simply came up to the office and asked for the light bulbs and then go ahead and do it? Richard?
I don't think we have them at the office, but maybe they can.
Well, somehow it can arrange for him to get the light bulbs.
Yeah, we'd be very appreciative.
Yeah, so if you just go up to the office, probably talk to Philip and make arrangements to get the bulbs, that would be absolutely wonderful.
Yep.
Maybe we can put up a statue of them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Torn down. Sorry.
Senator Copeland's the light bulbs.
Okay. He's not here, but he will climb up there and do that. Huh? Thank you. Recycling, do we have someone? Yes, Bill?
Judy's not here because she had to volunteer the Army way, you, at Recycle because she couldn't get anybody to volunteer. Anyway, we're getting close to having a full load. We've got a bale of cartons from the school. We've got one bale of plastic bottles, and there's probably some ready to be baled. Will give us a second bale. We still need volunteers. The reason that you find a place not open occasionally is because nobody wants to volunteer to work on it, and we don't have enough people. The other thing is, starting next month, on the third Saturday, which is board day, the recycle will only be open from 8 to 10. again, that's partly because of volunteer problems. Other than that, just keep bringing it along. Please separate your stuff when you bring it over there. We don't like to find aluminum cans with cat cans and paper with cardboard and etc. So please, pay a little more attention to what goes in what bins. Take the tops off the bottles. We don't like bottle tops. Philip has a big problem when they go and start squashing that stuff. It sounds like a firing range down there when they keep blowing off the top. So please take the caps off of anything that you bring over. Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Can we crush that wax containers? Because right now they're taking up huge space. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Milk containers.
I don't think so. I think because they have to be airing for a while, air out. But what I talked to Judy about was when Smiley from the school brings over their paper goods, for him to take the cardboard back to the school and put it in the bin over there. But we'll have to get with them to arrange a program, if you will, or some shuttling service or whatever.
You're talking about the cartons, not the cardboard.
Yeah, the cartons.
Yeah, the little
The milk
wax.
cartons, yeah, the milk cartons.
And they're supposed to be open totally on the tops, not just the ones that have the little caps on them. That has to be ripped open totally.
It has to air. They have to air out so that they don't stink and smell and whatever else. They should be cleaned out actually, but I'm not asking for too much. That's it.
Got another question over here.
I'm new to the fort, so I've tried to come to the recycling place, I don't know how many times unsuccessfully. So I'm totally unaware of what y'all take. I'm used to washing my garbage because we were big recyclers up in McKinney. But you said volunteers, who do you contact for volunteers?
Well, Judy Winchell is the lady basically in charge. I don't have
Give
her
your
phone.
name to Bill right now.
Yeah, give me your name and phone number and I'll.
563-9530.
Judy Winchell is 563-9530. I think you put it on, don't you put what's recyclable on the
It's on the website.
Facebook or website or someplace? It's not up there? Okay. Anyway, we have a list someplace. We could get you one or Judy can get you one. And
So it's, I know y'all are just on volunteer basis, but is it regularly open on Saturdays more than Thursdays?
it's open on Thursday from 4 to 6 and Saturday from 8 to 12, except on board day, which would be the third Thursday, and will be only open from 8 to 10.
Be the third Saturday.
The third Saturday. What did I say? Thursday?
Yep.
Third Saturday. Today's Saturday, isn't it? But we still need volunteers. Anybody wants to help?
But if you can go there on a Saturday morning, one of us who volunteers will be glad to show you what we take and what we don't take.
Okay.
We have to keep it limited because of our limited number of volunteers and our limited space. So we do take ones and twos basically in plastics.
Corrugated cardboard put out on Mondays with the regular trash. Maintenance takes that and they,
We do not put that in the recycling
no,
center.
but
What
they,
about cereal boxes and that?
that, we take that. Mixed paper, that's considered mixed paper.
Right, and office paper is a separate one.
We take was it opaque color like milk cartons? And then we also take regular plastic like soap containers or whatever.
We're only taking milk cartons right now.
He's talking the plastic.
I'm talking about the plastic ones,
Oh, okay.
the plastic milk,
So that's 1 and 2.
yeah.
Go on to that.
Aluminum cans, tin cans, mixed paper, yeah.
I'm going to move you right along.
Anyway, that's it. Bye.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for volunteering.
Right.
I didn't see an RV report. Do we have anything going on there?
We could be talking about that.
All right. I see that if I say something, it works. And recreation, Caroline pretty much takes care of that, and you gave us all of that.
I gave you most of it, I think, but she has many, many things in the making that she's going to want to share with you the next time.
Okay, more next time.
Stay tuned.
Do we have an ad hoc bylaw revision committee?
The last I knew that was still in y'all's hands, and we hadn't heard anything back from anybody on the board.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
Last month, you told us that you would have the final version for us this month.
We haven't had another meeting.
And I thought that what you gave us was the final version.
No, that was the first one for y'all to go through and
Okay.
review what we had.
One of the things that we wanted to do was have a workshop with the committee so that we could find out your reasons for doing certain things. At least I want that.
Okay, like I said, Phyllis Giblin leads that committee.
Who?
Phyllis
Judy?
Giblin, but we haven't
Oh,
had
that's
a
right,
meeting called
Phyllis.
in a couple of months now.
I just read that from my notes, Debbie.
Yeah.
That's what I have.
So we need to get with you.
Yes.
All right.
Phyllis.
I will do that. And of course, the community council isn't meeting, so we won't be going there. We have a consideration for approval of our new insurance risk package for fiscal year 2018. And Sandy, you get to do that.
What's a credit card fee?
Okay, we met with our insurance broker, Warren Blesh, on a Thursday morning.
Please, let's keep the talking back there down to an absolute zero. Thank you. We're tired today.
Thank you. We met last Thursday with our broker from Porter Insurance, and I'm going to summarize what we discussed. Mr. Blesh has been working with us on our commercial insurance package for about 20 years, so he really knows the fort. It was prepared by Porter Insurance by Warren Blesh. His job is to research the insurance markets to locate specific policies to cover liability and property risks to the association. He's been working with the association for about 20 years, so is familiar with who we are. This proposal includes quotes from different carriers for different risks that together form an insurance package. Included in the package are commercial property from Great American Admitted. This covers damage to all property belonging to the association, both building and business personal. General liability from Associated Industries covers bodily injury and property damage to other persons or property caused by negligence on the part of the association and or its employees. Commercial auto from Nationwide covers association-owned autos and trucks, both physical damage, which is collision, and bodily injury. All vehicles carry liability insurance. Newer vehicles also carry collision and comprehensive coverage. Miscellaneous coverage, scheduled equipment from Nationwide, covers equipment such as tractors, backhoes, and mowers. Excess umbrella coverage from Starstone provides additional coverage for losses in excess of policy limits. Workers' compensation from Texas Mutual, it's self-explanatory. Miscellaneous coverage aviation from Aerospace covers airport premises liability only. Miscellaneous coverage equipment breakdown from Hartford basically covers electrical wire arcing. Commercial crime from Travelers covers employee theft, computer fraud, funds transfer, cash on premises and in transit, and money orders.
miscellaneous coverage, directors and officers and employment claims from Argonaut. The actual cost of our 2016 package was $172,024, including credit for work comp dividends earned from Texas Mutual and our safety group. The projected cost of the 2017 package is $168,510, including the Texas Mutual work comp dividend already earned. We have yet to receive the dividend from Safety Group, but it's expected to be about $2,000. The premium could actually increase or decrease slightly during the year, depending on whether we add or dispose of vehicles and equipment. In other words, if we add a new truck and sell an old one, that could increase the premium by not very much. Our lower package, true package cost is actually due to a new commercial property insurance company. Their premium is lower than the last carrier we had. Based on that information, I move that the board accept and approve the 2017 insurance and risk management proposal submitted by Porter Insurance for a premium of $168,510, effective date September 1st, 2017.
Oh, is it September 1st or October?
It's, okay, well,
September 1st.
it's September 1st is where I read off the policy.
But it's,
I'll second the motion.
it's for FY 2018.
Well, the fiscal year is different than the insurance
I see that.
year. The insurance year runs September 1st.
Fine, I second.
It's also different. Okay. You've written that down? One
Yes.
of you? Okay. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Sandy, you're up again. This is annually we look at what the CPI is and decide whether or not we should have an increase in assessments. So Sandy has done the work and we'll let her present, or make her present.
This is not the most fun part of the job of treasurer. However, and I'm reading this because Monique isn't here, and these things supplement what she gets off the video and make sure that the minutes are correct. So, one of my responsibilities as board treasurer is to do a yearly review of our assessment rate and the cost of living to ensure that the association keeps up with the cost of doing business. When I became treasurer, I realized that no one had done this in almost 8 years. The association was fortunate that the recession kept the cost of living down, or the increase would have likely been much larger than the $3 per membership that resulted. Association assessments are paid by all of us. I'm a lot owner, so any increases that I may recommend to the board also affect me personally. Association assessments, whether regular lot owner, residential, charters without deeds, or FRMs, pay for day-to-day operations of the association. Day-to-day operations include everything from the purchase of office supplies, fuel, paint, equipment parts, utilities, and salaries to health and property liability insurance and payroll taxes. Assessments must keep up with the cost of living just to keep the fort and the association running from day to day. Our homeowners association is unusual in that we have profit-making entities such as the RV park and motel to help supplement assessments. Most HOAs do not have this and depend entirely on assessments, fees, or dues. The rate of inflation has been slow. June 2015 to 2016, the Consumer Price Index, the CPI, increased only 1%, resulting in a total assessment increase of 40 cents. No increase in assessments was taken. June 2016 to 2017 was 2%. The total for the 2 years, June 2015 to 2017, is 3%. Based on the Declaration of Protective Restrictions, which ties assessments to the Consumer Price Index, assessments may be increased no more than 2.5% or the rise in the CPI, whichever is greater. For the 2 years, June 2015 to 2017, the rise in the CPI equaled 3%, or $1.14, rounded to $1 per month per membership category. The annual budget increase in association assessments would be approximately $40,000, a significant amount. I believe that most people can absorb assessment increases in smaller increments than in larger ones, and waiting another year or two could result in increased inflation and increases of $3 to $5 per membership category. I believe it's in the association's best financial and fiscal interest to keep up with the cost of living on an annual basis. Therefore, I move that the board increase lot owner, residential, charter without deed, and FRM assessments in the amount of $1 per month per membership category, beginning on October 1st, 2017, the new fiscal year, or as soon as the billing procedures can be arranged.
Did you make a motion?
Yes, you
Did somebody second it?
I'll second it.
Why?
Any discussion?
Now, there's been a lot of work here, Sandy, thank you for that. But the $1 per member is $12 a year. And we said $40,000. I thought we only had around 2,000 members.
I took it from, as it's stated in there, and it's attached, I took it from the previous month's membership summary that we get every month, and I took it directly, the numbers directly off of that as the most recent. And remember, there are some members, some actual members have more than one lot, and that's taken, excuse me, allergies, that's taken right off of there, and it's attached.
So it's memberships, not members.
It's memberships, not members. It's, for instance, I have. Yeah. Well, it's if you will look through the stuff that I gave you, Amelia, on the last page, you can see where I added up the numbers. And if I made a calculation error, I will certainly correct it. If I made it more than once, because sometimes that happens.
Bottom line is it would be $1 a month more in each lot.
That's right. So, for instance, I have 2 lots, so it would be $1 for my empty lot, $2 for my residence lot, so it would be $3 a
I see
month.
this dollar applies to both the residential and
Yes,
the membership.
by declaration, yes.
A single lot would be $2 a month.
Right.
Did you? Was that? I'm not clear on your motion. Can you read it back?
Sure. Absolutely. I move that the board increase lot owner, residential, charter without deed, and FRM assessments in the amount of $1 per month per membership category, beginning on October 1st, 2017, the new fiscal year, or as soon as the billing procedures can be arranged. And ladies and gentlemen, I do realize that when we recommend assessment increases, that nobody likes these. I'm a member too. I have to pay them just like you do. But as the cost increases of doing business, we have to keep up with that cost of doing business. And I see one person shaking their head. It's kind of like, when fuel goes up and wages go up, and we took a huge jump in our health insurance premium this year. We have to find ways, and the way we do that, if you're in a homeowners association, your assessments have to keep up with the cost of doing business. I know no one likes it, but it's fiscally and financially irresponsible not to keep up with the cost of living. And if you continue to do that, you end up deeper and deeper in debt and less able to take care of everyday expenses, let alone any other special projects.
I'm going to take some comments from the members here. Go ahead, Chuck.
Yeah, I would clarification. In your remarks, were you opening it up for us to speak?
I am.
Okay.
I'm president, so you think maybe I could do it?
Well.
So Chuck, I called on you. Please go ahead.
Yes, my name is Charles Lopiso. I've lived here for about 3.5 years. And it sounds insignificant, $1 per member, per
lot.
Yes. So like me, I own 2 lots in a home, so that's $3 a month, $36 a year. Once again, those of us on a fixed income, $36 can go toward medication for the wife or something like that. And so it means a lot. But my biggest objection to this is that here I've noticed in the last year and a half, we seem to be getting a whole lot less than what we're supposed to be paying for. We noticed that the mowing gets down to almost non-existent. Last year, during the summer, you couldn't get back on Red Bridge because the weeds were about this high. They didn't get cut at all.
Wait a minute. The gardening club says those are flowers.
No, ma'am, I know what weed is. Yeah. So I just want to say you couldn't drive your car back here because the weeds were so high. And every time we went in there, you got fleas all over you, and you had to make the ticks all over you came out. And if it gets cut, that doesn't happen today. And so we noticed the grass, especially up around our area, in the common areas, wasn't getting cut at all. In fact, I talked to Philip about it, and finally it got cut within a week. But, and also the trash. The trash is terrible in this place now. It used to be. You come over the bridge, well, come over the bridge, take a look. Look to your left, and look to the right. It's full of paper cups, styrofoam cups, grocery bags.
We need to go back to having the monthly pickup that we used to
We
do.
need to do something. I talked to Philip about it. He said, well, why don't you go pick it up? And I said, well, what the hell am I paying for?
We have
$755,000 in payroll.
Yeah, I just think that at some point, I went to Mr. Lawrence once and it was cleaned up within 2 days. Then within 2 weeks, it was back to square one. And,
It's because we live across the road from a lot of
no, ma'am.
fast food.
No, ma'am. It's because we're allowing people to come in and go fishing for a couple of bucks, and they're bringing in their lunches and so on. And when they leave it on the ground.
Well,
And that's what's happening, and no one's
okay,
making them pick it up.
okay.
Well, I'm just telling you what
I
it is.
hear you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm Marcia Kaufman. We've been here a month, so a lot of what I just need answers because
I
I
understand.
don't know how any of this works. He was talking about $1 per lot and $1 for the house. So I have 3 lots and I'm paying how much then? I'm paying almost $200 a month right now, which comes out to just shy of $2,000 for the year. So I didn't know if I'm paying 3 assessments or am I paying 4 assessments?
You pay a regular lot owner assessment for each lot that you own. Okay. If you put a house on the lot, you pay a residential assessment because there's sewer and water and everything going to that lot. Okay, so you have 3 lots and a house on one. Okay, so you have 3 houses and a house on one, so your increase would be $4 a month.
Well, the house may be on 2 lots. I'm not sure how.
It's just for the one house.
One house.
Okay.
And it's how much a month?
You would have $1 per each lot. That's your lot owner assessment, and then $1 for the residential assessment.
Okay.
That's an improved residential assessment because that lot has been, yeah. So it would be $4. I have 2 lots. I pay $1 for each of my lots, and I pay $1 for the house that sits on the one lot. So mine will be $3 increase per month. Okay.
I took grandkids down to the Red Bridge because I'd heard about the Red Bridge. You can't even get to the picnic tables. I mean, you can't get to the picnic tables. So it looks very, from an outsider's point of view, it looks very sad.
When was the last time you were there?
Maybe, well, I've only been here once.
No, when was the last time that you went out? Because
Probably 2 weeks
much
ago.
of that has been mowed now. If you go back and take a look, you'll see.
Okay. Then the other thing I wanted to know, we're an association, do the members get to vote on things? No?
Oh, yes. Come on.
Once in a while.
Yeah. Okay, so in essence, I'm not trying to be contentious or anything, I just want to find.
Get after it, darling.
We've got enough contention here already, don't worry about it.
Do we vote for you all to be
Yes.
board members?
Yes, and
And how often
three of
is
us are going up in March. I mean, it's actually January. You can run for the board yourself.
I don't know that I want to.
I can
So
see why.
y'all serve for a year?
3 years.
No,
3
3
years?
Yeah, 3 years.
Okay.
and 3 of us are going off the board in January,
Okay.
in March.
Let me see what else. Membership fees, does everybody pay their membership fees?
We do have some who are unable. Sometimes they get behind, sometimes we have them on a payment plan to catch up. It isn't, the number isn't as high as people think it is. Really, most people pay their assessments.
Okay, are there consequences for those that don't?
Yes.
Okay. On the budget report or finance treasurer's report, y'all were talking about, or maybe it was on here, unpaid, I'm flustered. It was, when you
Take your time.
when you have a check and it bounces, that was on the list.
Okay.
If you've got checks that are coming in that are not good, do you continue to take checks from those people?
No.
Okay, then this has nothing to do with money. You mentioned deer. Is there
Deer
somebody,
harvest?
are the deer being managed? Is there somebody managing the deer?
Yes,
Because it seems
we
like-
have 2,
Fish and wildlife.
Okay, more like this?
yes.
They can't do it.
And we also have, just doing it on our own, we have a contract with someone who picks up deer periodically and takes them elsewhere and then gives us some of the income.
That was my other question. Y'all had 9 that were transferred. Were they Axis or Whitetail? Axis, okay. Because that's what I've been noticing is
That's
that
the
we just
overrun.
seem overrun with Axis.
That's the point.
Okay.
They do tend to reproduce.
Oh, and they're bullies.
There's that too.
When you have insurance or work or equipment that needs to be done, y'all were talking about you had this one insurance guy. He takes care of finding the best deal on the car insurance and everything. Okay. What about work that needs to be done, outside work that needs to be done, or equipment that needs to be bought? Do y'all take bids for that, or does, okay. And what is CCNR?
CCNRs are covenants. I was trying to use
I can't say it. Covenants and
Okay.
Your restrictions, everybody in your unit.
Something like that. I can never remember the second C.
Yeah, I think it's covenants.
Covenants, conveyances, and restrictions.
Okay.
And each unit, years ago, each unit put together their own CCNRs. And they're really highly outdated, and sometime in the future, we want to update those
But
CCNRs.
when you bought your home, you should have got a copy of that shit. So-
Okay, I probably did. I
Yeah.
got
Yeah,
so
no,
much
you're-
time, I
yeah,
was
yeah.
overwhelmed.
But it's probably-
You should have a copy of, I don't know what unit you're in. Do you?
27.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of you out there.
That's my unit, so.
You should have gotten a copy of those.
Okay, I probably did. I was just overwhelmed at that point in my life, so I didn't read everything.
I understand.
Okay. And I think that was it. I can't.
Thank you for asking the questions ahead of time. If something else comes up, Mr. Lawrence can help you, I'm
Okay.
sure.
All right, thank you.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Lisa Vale, and I've only been here about a year, so I'm still trying to figure it all out. I just have a clarification question. I know that the golf course it loses money, so I'm wondering, is the assessment cover that loss? I mean, I don't know how the finances, if they're separate.
Yeah, it does cover the loss. The golf course has, there are a lot of people who would not be here if we didn't have the golf course. So we sell a lot of lots based on the fact that we do have a golf course.
So when was the last
So I'm not
time
going to
we-
stand up for it. but-
No, and I know, I'm not saying, I'm not against it, I'm just trying to clarify. And when was the last time we've had a boost in the membership?
Oh, the
Golf course?
Yeah. I mean, a boost in cost, like if we're gonna do an assessment that helps cover the golf course, is there been a boost?
Last year.
Okay, I don't golf, so that's the only reason I asked, I just wanna clarify. Huh?
It's expensive.
So I'm just trying to figure out where it's all going.
It has been raised, yes.
2
In
years
fact,
straight.
it's a little bit every year. Go ahead.
One question, I got no problem with raising the assessments,
She's okay, they're not
but I
here.
wonder how many special assessments we're gonna have this year to cover all the other stuff that came up last year.
I'm wondering if we just didn't go to special assessments. It's my question for, what's the difference in charging me a dollar per membership and just going out for special assessments?
Well, one big difference is you pay $1 per membership a month rather than paying, like our last one was $45 all in one fell swoop. So.
But I only had to do it once. I didn't have to do
But
it every
these assessments are just for day-to-day activities. The last assessment, special assessment or supplementary assessment was for the purchase of the new garbage truck because we have to have a garbage truck. So those are for special purposes. This is just to keep up with the general day-to-day operation of the fort. And not all of it is wages. There's everything else that goes into running the association. Yes, everything. Fuel for the trucks and power for the buildings.
Wait till you're recognized.
I am.
Okay, thank you. Now go ahead.
I want to know if any of the money's going to be spent to do anything back on 131. You know, we don't have a fence back there. There's no fence back there. That barbed wire is not even there. We have no security back there. We're finding condoms. We're finding girls' underwear. We're finding pizza boxes, beer cans. We have a party back there every weekend and during the week. And security does not go back there. We need security back there at that back gate 24/7 because they're coming in the middle of the night, stealing our water. Now that we've got new locks on it, they can't get in now. But we've caught them back there coming in the middle of the night, taking our water. And they're partying back there. These forerunners and stuff are coming back there, coming down Scales Road at 50, 60 miles an hour. And they're racing up and down the road, and we don't have security back there. I don't mind paying if I can get security and get secured back where we live. There is no fence. None of y'all live where there's no fence, where everybody can come in. We have a pit bull that lives across the street that comes across there all the time. The women next door to me are petrified of that pit bull. They won't do anything about it. So we're going to be out there with a gun the next time it comes across that fence. Well, it's a pit bull. It's coming at our dogs and our people.
I don't blame you.
You know,
You called the sheriff?
They were out there trying to get them for shooting guns, and they still can't get them. So we need a fence on 131. We want it secured back there. We want security back there. If we need to get a petition, we'll get a petition up to let you know how many of us want security back at the back gate.
When you just curious, when you mentioned them coming down Scales Road, they're coming from inside the fort.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
So-
they are. They're racing up and down
Okay,
Scales
so,
Road.
but you're also saying there are people that aren't coming from inside the fort.
Correct.
And do
Trucks.
you call security when you spot them out there?
No. No. Why? They have permission to come in there.
No, I mean,
They have permission. Do I call security when they're out there partying?
yeah.
Yes.
No.
I mean, does security even know there's a problem?
Well, security should. They're driving down there.
Okay.
They don't come down
All
there.
I'm suggesting to you is the next time, especially if you see anybody coming from off the fort onto the fort, or you see partying back there, seriously, call security. Because if they don't know what's going on, they really can't do anything about it.
I
And-
have called security several times
And they
to
will
come back.
Okay, we're not
to
gonna-
problems
Let's not
back
argue
there,
about
We
but
are not
keep
going to
busy.
argue back and forth.
We're
Totally-
not arguing.
I'm not talking about it here. I'm talking about this one.
But I have called security, and security has not been able to come back there.
All right.
I've caught them dumping stuff back there. I called security. They don't come back. They don't catch it. They're out doing something else and patrolling
Okay.
instead of being back there and giving us our security that we need.
You have registered your complaint.
Thanks.
Please do call security though.
Pictures of the condos
Yes,
and all
back
that
there.
stuff.
When you see them out there. This is about security is that if you go to the guard shack and you say to security, I'm filling out a report, and they give you a piece of paper and you put down your name and your number, and then you just write a brief paragraph of this is what's going on. This is what I'm requesting. Please get back to me or get back to the directors and tell me if you're taking action on this or not. I'm assuming that you will. This way, make a copy of the report, because we're going to have that. And then, when sort of, if the situation gets abusive, then call security and say, I got this report on file. Someone signed it, he said they got it, so you know what the situation is. So now what I'm requesting is that you come over and, curtail this, this loudness in the middle of the night. I'm trying to sleep.
Thank you.
Just like
That's a
that.
good
So
idea.
just fill out the report at the security check. That's what I would do.
Chet?
Never mind.
I think we're off topic. I'd like to call the question.
I would like to make a comment.
Wait a minute.
I'm just talking about security.
I had already called on him.
I had a theft occur at my home, over $500 worth of lumber during the building. I called security, Matt came out, I called the county, I did a report with both people. Matt said I'll be checking the cameras to see if anything, because there was a special way some lumber was tied with duct tape. And he said, I'll check the cameras and get back with you. I've never heard from anybody.
Getting back to the motion that's on the table.
Thank you.
I'd like to just make a brief comment. Sandy has a very sound argument for the increase. Makes a lot of sense, and it's hard to argue against it, which I would not, except I don't know that we have to do it right at this time. I'm thinking that maybe a different approach would be, we have a finance advisory committee. When they meet, they could look at the expense side of the ledger and see if we can maybe make at least part of that $40,000 up by tightening our belt a little bit and not have such a large increase. $1 a month doesn't sound like much, but it sounds like to a lot of people it's $3-4 a month, and it does add up. So although I agree with everything Sandy said, I'm going to oppose an increase at this time.
Any other comments? Yes.
Oh, is it me or?
Are you?
Hi. I just had a couple of questions. I'm sorry that I'm late. But my first question is for the increase. Has there been any movement on the position that was hired to procure the money that people haven't paid from
She's
past.
doing pretty well at it.
So if she's doing pretty well at it, why is the membership going to be punished to offset whatever costs that it's being justified?
I don't think that's what's being offset.
So, okay, is that?
All memberships were included in the calculations, whether delinquent or current. Okay, we have to do it that way. And I think a basic misunderstanding is an increase in assessment is not a punishment for anything for the members.
Well,
It's not a punishment, and if you've ever lived in a homeowners association, this is standard procedure every year to review the cost of living versus the assessments. It's not punishment, it's simply a method to keep up with the cost of doing business. And I know a lot of people consider it a punishment, but it's just a fact of life, that when prices start to rise, then we need to take care of it to make sure that we stay solvent.
Well, with all due respect, our property values have not increased. Our property values, if anything, have decreased because of the fact that this cost of living hasn't exactly made it here to increase. So I would respectfully disagree with that, and I would also respectfully say that it has not been something that's historical, that every year our assessments get looked at and raised by $1 or whatever it is per lot. And I would also be curious to know if the financial advisory committee that was established by the board, if they're the ones putting this recommendation forward, and if so, why haven't they given any kind of report?
We just said that. Were you not listening?
No, I guess not.
Dan just said they hadn't met, but they should meet. That this was something that he wanted them to do.
I have a comment too, or just to kind of support what she said. I think that she has a valid point. This is the third time that the office has sent me a notice that I owe more money, that my fees are not up to date, when they are up to date. Now twice I have gone in, I have one assessment at $79 a month. Twice I have overpaid. This is the third time that they're requesting that I overpay my $79. I would like to know who sends out these letters and what do they do with the extra money that they're collecting. I mean, I know I should be keeping the receipts and and going in and saying, look, okay, no, I'm current and this is erroneous.
Are you paying with cash?
No, I put it on a debit card.
Then you should have a record of it.
I do. Let's see, and I could go in and I could open up the issue. But I'll tell you,
please
for me,
excuse me,
with my
please
retirement, I really don't care.
see Mr. Lawrence so that he can find out where that's happening, because it's not right.
You're doing was additional, so
Thank
I think
you.
to support what she said is, oh, everyone's giving an extra $1 a month. Well, if they're over collecting here, does someone need a new dress? Do they want fry boots? What are they putting in Sundance Cadillac? They're gonna get turquoise? I mean, really think about it. Well, I like, see, that's why I don't get involved.
No, it's part of my salary is what it is.
Oh, Mark's gonna get a Mercedes Benz. So, okay, well, no problem. No problem, I'm just sitting down.
Go ahead.
One real quick, everybody's concerned about the delinquent accounts. I'm sure you all don't have a definite amount, but percentage-wise, how many
I
delinquent
can't give,
accounts are?
I don't know that answer. I don't know that we've ever done it percentage-wise anyway. Go ahead, Maria.
I'm sorry. I just want to. I also want to ask if it's possible before even proceeding with a vote that the advisory committee, as I'm being told you guys already did mention, that they present a report saying this is how much we have in delinquencies. This is why this would be a preferred recommendation.
That is exactly what Dan's suggesting.
Yes, ma'am. But so will we be seeing that in a future?
It depends on what the vote is. The board has not voted yet.
Yes, ma'am, I understand that. I just think my concern is that, just like last month where...
You can ask the advisory committee to do that.
Yes, ma'am.
And that would be through Sandy or through Dan. But to take up time in the meeting to ask the same question over and over doesn't seem appropriate.
Well, I just think like last month where Mr. Lawrence suggested removing part of the fence and then then finding a solution for it. I think that's kind of along the lines, but it sounds like it's gonna happen with the dues. We increase dues and then talk to the advisory committee and see what their assessment is. I think if we went backwards, then that would probably put more people at ease. So, sorry if that's redundant, but that's just, I wanted to make sure I said that.
I'm going to take one more member.
I would
Just a minute. I'm going to take one more member, and then I'm going to ask Sandy to speak. And then we'll go back to the members. We have a long executive session, so I'd like to get to that point. Go ahead. Yes.
Real quickly, I think what is a major concern for.
Speak up, please.
A major concern for a lot of my friends that are strictly on Social Security or their spouses have passed away and they don't have as much income, that is a real biggie for them.
Yep.
And so I think that's going to be some unrest about it.
Okay, Sandy?
Let me point out that the reason that this is done at this time of the year is because our fiscal year ends on September 30th and our new one begins on October 1st. Richard is trying to put together the budget for 2017-2018. Knowing how much money is coming into the association is critical for him to do his budget. That's why it's done at this time of the year. Now,
we also put out coupons for.
Yes. We also have to create the billing procedures whenever we make a change. At the request of the members of the Finance Advisory Committee, we are not meeting until October because they all were traveling various places during the summer. So it is very important that Richard knows what kind of money we have to work with, which is why it is done at this time of the year, okay? Now, if we delay it, then he has to work with a budget that's not necessarily going to be accurate if we have to wait until October to pass this relatively small increase. And I do understand that people own multiple properties and so forth, but that's the purpose of doing it at this particular time, and it is my job to do this. So please don't kill me because you're hearing from me things you don't want to hear. So, and anyway, I did want to explain why it's done at this time of the year. It's so that we can have the most accurate budget possible going into the next fiscal year.
Well, why did we wait until the last month then? Why did you wait until the last month to ask for the increase? Why didn't you do this 3 months ago?
Okay.
You knew that it was going to happen.
You're getting in ahead.
Okay.
There are other people that are raising
Sure.
they're raising their hands. If you have something to say, just raise your hand. One more time, Maria.
Yes, ma'am. My question was going to be similar to hers. Is there a reason why the Financial Advisory Committee was established but not being asked to be an advisory point of contact for this increase?
As I told you, they requested that we not meet or do anything this summer because they had other plans. Now, maybe next year, after the committee knows what goes on during this time of the year, and we did discuss it, then they'll make some changes in their time away. It just worked out that way for the new members.
Is there a large gap in our budget that we are trying to fix?
We haven't seen Richard's budget. We were trying to let him know as soon as possible. It's always this time of the year because we have to wait for the CPI figures to come in, and then we have to calculate it. They post them a couple of months behind, so we can't go in June and get them. I can't get them until sometime in July, usually mid to late July. That's why we do it at this time of the year.
So we do have the numbers though.
I have the numbers now.
Okay, Maria, there's somebody else. Go ahead, Rihanna.
I guess where it's a little bit confusing for.
Speak up a bit.
In regards to raising the rates, I guess what's frustrating as a member, I know, and I don't know, at least I haven't seen anything in the public, in the paper, we haven't foreclosed on anything since 2011. So
Say again?
We haven't foreclosed anything since 2011. So if we were to, if we knew that this money was going to help to maybe afford an attorney to go after people that aren't paying, since I've kind of crossed over to a different career,
I have had somebody call and say, well, I stopped paying since January. They're paying on one lot and one residential, but they own several other lots. So maybe if I were a board member, I would probably want to get a report that's a little bit more narrow, like your units that are actually performing, that actually have houses. Find out who's not, because when you raise a rate, yes, it's a little bit, but the people that aren't paying are still not paying. So all you're kind of doing is punishing the people that are paying. And once we start seeing that things are happening, the first one that gets foreclosed on, people are going to get serious and they'll start paying again. But we haven't seen anything since 2011. That's the only frustration. And like I said, if we knew that this extra money would go for an attorney, because I know the law.
Thank you, Rihanna.
Can I make,
You have to say it only once.
can I make a comment?
Yes, please.
First of all, to the lady over here, the delinquency rate currently looks at about 7.5%, which is not too bad. And they're working very hard on going after and improving that. So that answers your question for percentages. As to, I just calculated it with the report we get that shows how many delinquent and how many billed. So, yeah, it's a matter of math. The other thing is, the point on the budget is a good one. However, I would suggest that the budget could be made at this time based on the existing assessments. And then if we do increase the assessments later, that will be kind of like a watershed bonus. And also every year, Richard does a very nice mid-year adjusted budget, and that could reflect any new amount of assessments. So it's just a thought. I'm not necessarily against increasing them. I don't mind a couple bucks a month. But we have to think of all the members and where they all sit here and what we can do to try to accommodate them, as that is our job. Thank you.
I'd like, if I may.
Okay, there's one lady that's been very patient. Go ahead.
We actually sold our property, and so we're just recreational members now, because we weren't really getting anything out of having the property, because we're now living in Brackenville because we own goats. So if you ever have goats, we'll come back. But so it didn't make any sense that our assessments, everything kept going up, and we can actually cheaper for having a recreational membership. I do just want to point out, I've worked in government in Washington, D.C. for a very long time, and it's a slippery slope. Once you say this year we're going to go ahead and do an assessment, well, then it's just a natural, normal thing year after year after year to do an assessment. And you see that in government all the time.
Thank you. You know how government is. They're going to do it.
Are we going to have that $45 assessment? Is that automatic for taxes or what?
There's one that's automatic for taxes, but it's different every year. And it's usually less than $30.
The $45 one is different, and there's no plans for having that, and actually, with some of the changes that have been made, there should be no need for it.
Okay, I'm going to take one more member, and that's all the members, so okay? Go ahead.
Woody Trotters. Last year when we had the special assessment, $45, that I have 3 memberships. So that month I had to pay over $300 for my membership. And that is very difficult. And I don't even have access or emergency access to my property in Unit 1, and my property still hasn't been repaired from the hailstorm 2 years ago. And the people that were blocking my access, you paid them $700 for stealing property. They were caught encroaching 3,610 square feet of property that wasn't theirs. And I even got, my lawyer even called me. Someone on the board was trying to intimidate me, and the lawyer, the court lawyer, called my lawyer and said that I was not to speak to any member or any board member about the encroachment. And when Mr. Sullivan and Miss Barron were the only two members, board members that showed up. Not our director of operations didn't even show up to see if there was an encroachment. He called asking them to leave. And later that afternoon, members were receiving from the administration office, were receiving emails for them not to talk to me about the encroachment.
Okay, what do I?
No, Myrna.
I
have a grievance. I have been wrong.
I understand. I need to go to Mr. Lawrence now. I've finished with members. Thank you.
I was going to address there seems to be some concern about the delinquent memberships.
I'm sorry. He needs to speak into the microphone, but he wanted to ask if we wanted to hear about this. We really are having a board meeting, not a membership meeting.
With respect to the delinquencies, the memberships, my staff is now vigorously pursuing those delinquencies, more so than has ever been done since, as I think was pointed out, 2011, when the last foreclosures were made. There is significant progress being made. We are, as I said, vigorously pursuing them. The next step we will be doing is having liens on properties, and from that point go on to foreclosures. So we're doing all that we know how to do.
All that you're allowed by law to do.
All that we, yeah, and allowed by law.
Okay. I'm ready for the question. I'm going to go ahead. Anybody else?
Based on what I feel in the board here, with the caveat that there will be an assessment increase undoubtedly in the near future. We have to do this. And unfortunate, and I apologize that it's so much of an issue. I'm a member too, I have to pay it. But I like Don's comment, and again, the only reason they were not involved in this, the advisory committee, is because they're not here. And we can't do this type of thing by email. So based on this, I'm going to withdraw the motion, or at least, I guess I would withdraw the motion and table it for after the October meeting with the Finance Advisory Committee.
Does the seconder accept that? Bill?
I'm sorry, yes. Okay.
So we now have a motion to table?
Yes.
Thank you. All in favor of tabling the motion until October?
Now, I want to add a little caveat here. If the Finance Committee determines that the amount should be higher, we may have to go that direction, so be aware.
And we also, that doesn't stop us, not raising the assessments does not stop us from going out for a special assessment. If we need it, it's available to us.
The other thing is, though, we're still under the constraints of our declarations and the CPI, which at this time would be 3%. But that could change by October, I guess is what you're saying. Okay.
Or the Finance Committee could determine that we needed to do a special assessment right away. Any of those things could be. Okay.
Good luck.
Moving right along. The old and unfinished business, we took some votes by email. One was to approve Ann Barron's excused absence for, I believe it was June. Yeah, June. The other was to approve a change in the employee health insurance plan. Right now we have changed to the United, their silver. which turns out to be kind of better for the employees and also less expensive. So obviously it could change by October, but we're hoping that it stays there. So that's been approved. Do we have a hail damage update? Poor Sandy, you're just one right after another.
That's good. I'm tough. I have thick skin.
Hope so.
We met. I met with our broker, the broker's adjuster, and Elite Roofing to try to finalize the hailstorm because we still have some outstanding monies owed. We did replace air conditioning units in Teen Center, Administration, and Dickman Hall. Those have been replaced, so now we've made a claim for the actual replacement cost of those items. And there were some outstanding charges owed to Elite, including the rental equipment to access the commissary roof for replacement of the wooden shingles. I finally received the glass bill from the hangar, and I have to talk to Russell about to ensure that that's actually glass broken by hail and not wear and tear on the thing. So we're getting close to finalizing this, and hopefully by the next meeting I will be able to give a final report.
Thank you. And thank you for all the work you do on that.
You're welcome.
I don't think anybody thanks you enough. That's right. Okay, RV park maintenance update.
Yes, ma'am. Debbie had mentioned that the July month was one of the best months for golfing. The same thing is occurring in the RV park, June, July. Diana tells me that these are probably the best June, July that she has seen since she's been there. And so...
what do you think it is? Could it be around the family fun nights or any of that?
I can only hope so, that we're promoting the fort more, and I'm hoping it's having some impact.
Somebody asked these people why they're here.
We have been continuing our work, our summer work at the RV park, getting things in much better shape. All of the buildings have been painted now, and all of the sewer caps have been replaced, and we even have a supply of sewer caps because we know they're going to get run over and broken again. Tree trimming has been, and the weed eating and the mowing, all of that, the grooming of the lawns. We're even straightening the bumper poles, those concrete poles that keep people from running into some of the utilities. Those were bent over because people don't drive so well, and they've been straightened up again. We're getting rid of some of the obsolete utility poles as well. New signage is in the works. We do still have some electrical problems there that need to be corrected, so that work still has to be done. And probably the most expensive thing is going to be fixing the foundation problem of the office building because it has cracked and over the years has gotten worse and worse and worse, and we need to address that as well. But as I said, things are improving.
I'm going to keep up until they get back, so plan on one for next month too. Really, the discussion on the rental properties policies workshop was really to say that we aren't done with that. We're going to have another workshop, probably more than one, and everyone is welcome to come to that if you've got any ideas about rental policies. But we're hoping that even the people who are renting one by one, as opposed to just the realtors, that's where I was going. Don't help, sometimes it doesn't do anything for me. And just a heads up that we're going to keep having those workshops till we can figure out what we can do with that. The policy needs updating, definitely. Finally, on old unfinished business, Someone asked about the donation to the Boy Scouts for $500. Is there anyone here who was representing that?
I'm not representing them, but Price Chambers was here. He had to leave for another commitment about 30 minutes ago. He said if you would put him on the agenda for next month, he would address this.
Okay. It did die for lack of a motion whenever we had it on here. But he's welcome to try to do it again. All right, under new business, again, a warning that in September, the board is required to, by the bylaws, current bylaws, to appoint a search and certification committee. So try to get people that would do well on that committee to come to the next meeting. Or if we know somebody who isn't here yet, that too wouldn't be a bad idea.
What meeting? What is it?
Search and certification committee?
Yeah.
That's the one where you find people that would make excellent board members.
Oh, okay.
And if you think you would be a good one, prefer to do it from the audience, huh? Okay. All right.
We can have 5 people to run.
Are you still? Go ahead.
We have Richard or Monique put out some type of publicity to look for volunteers for that committee.
That'd be great.
HQ dispatch or
Yeah, put it in there.
something. Yes.
Thank you. I have the 15-member discussion. I see that, Chuck, you're still on here. Do you still? Marcia?
Well, I did come across one question that I didn't ask y'all. Do we have to pay for watering the common areas? Not we, but is there an expense for watering the?
Some of it is gray water from,
Okay,
Golf
yes.
course.
From,
So some of it's gray water.
yes, but some of it we pay for,
Which
yes.
is included in one of your dues because of operating the fort.
Okay, but I just was asking because it looks, when you first come into the fort, it just looks really kind of dry, and I didn't know if it was gray. Well, I understand, I'm a Texan, I do know that, but I didn't know if it was being watered with gray water, then there wouldn't be any expense, so there wouldn't be any reason.
Down there is not gray water.
Okay, that's what.
Mostly the gray water's on the
Where we can smell.
golf course for sure.
Should gray water smell?
You know, it does in the summer because there aren't enough of us flushing. If you, in the wintertime, there are more people here flushing, and it's just there's more water running through. So I notice in summertime it definitely smells. But it's been treated, so the smell is probably the only thing that you need.
Just a side effect.
Yeah, it isn't.
Okay.
Mud definitely has to treat it with the lettuce user.
And I did want to say to Sandy, I don't think anybody was attacking you personally.
Oh, no, I understand.
Well, I don't want you to feel, well, nobody should be.
Right off the
I
bat,
work with
she's
the
for
public,
you.
and I know how hard it is and how discouraged you get when you go home and you feel like all that anybody did was go at you, when it wasn't your fault at all. So I just didn't want you to feel like you were being attacked.
Your attitude will change.
We got to get this woman on some committees. Okay, Woody again. Which Woody do I have? One is.
Oh, all right. thought we were following this.
I'm on the 15-member discussion.
I'm Winnie Kornberg, and I want to know if the board members know what the word illegal means. Do you know the meaning of illegal?
Yes, we do.
All right, okay. If I do something wrong, what are you gonna do to me? If I park
Depends on
wrong,
what you do.
what will you do to me?
She parks wrong.
If I park wrong, what will you do to me? What was if it interferes with the entrance or anything like that, okay? All right, we have had a person that is parked, you say it's illegal. Well, illegal means it's not supposed to be. And they have parked there over a year and blocking emergency access. You know that because you got a letter from the sheriff saying he had used that road as an emergency 2 times on occasion. So what are you going to do about someone parking illegally and remaining there and ignoring everything that you say?
I have not seen any letter from the sheriff, and if you're referring to the horse trailer down in Unit 1 that's parked there, that I've been told that that was ascertained to be within the parking platted area. That's a platted parking lot. And so if it's parked in a platted parking lot, I don't believe it's illegal, unfortunately. I can sympathize with you, but they did cut an access down to the east of that a little bit.
Car can't get through, a truck can't get through, a golf cart can. But if you have access, you get access with your car that you've had almost 10 years. And now it's blocked off, and that person has ignored letters from you, so I understand. But a sheriff, Burgess, did write a letter to the board, and he said he had used that as an emergency twice. And right after that, y'all had gotten it that week. Then there was a meeting, and that person got up and said, I talked to the sheriff, and he said he had never used it, which was a big fat, you know what.
It sounds to me like this is a situation that needs to be resolved in court. And I know Buddy too quite well, and I don't know whether he used it or didn't use it. I've never discussed it with him. I do know that I've never seen a letter from him saying anything.
Well, the board did receive one.
Well, I'm part of the board and I did not receive one.
All right. You remember, Berger, you all received a letter from Sheriff Burgess, didn't you?
We received a letter, but it didn't say what you're saying.
It said that they had used that place that was being blocked off twice.
The letter came before that was blocked off.
Right. You
So-
did receive it.
Yes, but the letter came before it was blocked. It's not really blocked off as you call it. It has access.
Well, anyway, it should be open, and one member should, if it's acknowledged that they're parked illegal.
They are not parked illegally. Unfortunately, it's not illegal. Whether it has some other things going against it, I can't tell you, but it is not illegally parked.
All right, if I park up there blocking the access, what will you do to me?
If you're on the parking lot and you're right beside the guy there, nothing.
All right, so I could park up there by that gate then, that goes into his property, and nothing will be done.
Are you on the parking lot?
Yes,
And are you legally parked?
yes, on the
Then
park.
we will do nothing.
All right, thank you very much.
If it is blocking emergency access, is that the fort's responsibility or the sheriff's?
There is no designated emergency access area, doesn't exist.
Okay.
No, and
In fact, the fire department says they would not drive down there because of the condition of the soil and the stability of the soil.
So anybody, how many houses are we talking about down there?
Well, two, Woody's house and the other person that's causing the
So if they
tension here.
catch on fire, they're just out of luck?
no. The sheriff,
We can run a hose.
Okay.
The fire department told me, and I went and talked to them, that they would not go anywhere near the creek because of the bed, the bank's not stable for the big equipment. But they have hoses that they can run from the nearest fire hydrant to any place in the unit.
All right, I just, the things it was sounding like it wasn't a fourth problem, but a legal problem but if you're saying, I don't even know where we're talking about.
Fire department and EMS service has access.
Okay, then.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am,
Then
go.
it's not a big.
Hi, I'm
Put your
Berta
name
Howell.
on here next time.
Berta Howell. It's not on there, but I just wanted to ask a question.
Go ahead.
When you have your trailers or your fifth wheels or whatever you have, shouldn't those be parked under a cover? Like in my area, we all have to have the covers, so they have to be under there. But if you have an extra one that's out, you can't put it anywhere, should it not be placed behind the fence in the storage area unit that we have here on the
What we're
fort?
talking about is a horse trailer.
Right. Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. Any trailer of any kind, should it not be parked in that storage area? That's why we have it.
That
Is
would
it
be-
not?
Would
If it's there
depend on the
permanently.
CC&Rs for that unit.
For that unit, that's right.
Yeah.
And we don't have to have a cover, that's optional, that's.
Right, but shouldn't that be, you can't just everybody park one out in front of their house and go, oh, well, it's gonna be there for a while.
I would
Chuck's
hope
got
not,
one
but you
on.
have to look
If
at the
it's there for a full
CC&R.
time, should it not be behind the storage area that we have set
No.
aside for that?
Once again, that would depend on the CC&Rs for that unit.
Okay. That's what I'd be checking on.
That's the last member discussion I have, and I let in a little bit more.
Thank you.
Okay. My goodness. It's 10:48, and we are going into executive session. No, I wanted to.
They made comments about Myrna, but they were the ones that should be. But I thought don't try.
Well, that's right. It's just like in the
Okay. I think Dave Turner is going to help them, so they'll get together and then they'll.
I told Dave.
I would rather there be two of them.
I told Dave about
Yeah.
this is,
Dave's been out of town.
That answers that question.
He's supposed to be back though. I think.
But the bulbs aren't.
Right. So yay.
I don't know where they're at.
Well, our first show's in November, so.
they should be back just after Labor. They do. Are they gonna be gone that long? Yeah. You know, they get up in the mountain from Hammond and they don't wanna come back. Yeah.
It is on, I think.
Finance Advisory Committee is working on it. And we got some ideas from them, ideas from the employees, and ideas from the board when I give it to them. On what? It's a survey that the Finance Advisory Committee was to use to help them with direction as far as where our members want to see us to go, we see us go. And they did part of it when they suggested that employees add their 2 cents and the board add their 10 cents.
So I forgot to ask one thing I wanted to be clear on. Our original agreement with the restaurant is still in effect till October 1st as we agreed, right?
Did you pick up the,
I didn't.
15-minute?
Yeah, I think Marty's got it.
I have it, yeah, I'm sorry, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I'll get it.
I put my stuff on her keyboard along with also with the tape recorder.
All I need is breath. It's 12:18. The board discussed member issues and contract issues which are not completed. So there's really nothing to report here. The next regular meeting will be September 16th. I beg your pardon?
I'm reading verbatim.
That's what I need you to do.
Verbatim.
Any other business? I'm declaring us adjourned at 12:19.
All right, well, that was a good meeting, 1 minute.
Yeah, I like that.
That would make a good idea. And you need to